Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Justin. In today's video, I'm gonna give you my rundown on the Massey Ferguson GC1725MB. And the reason I say it like that is, in the GC1700 series, there's 4 different models. That's the 1723E, 1723EB, 1725M, 1725MB. We have the 1725MB with us today. This is my personal tractor. A lot of people overlook the Massey Ferguson, I feel, and this is why I think you might want to look into the Massey Ferguson. Now mine's a little dirty today, but I have the forks with the bucket, and something additional that I got was the thumb for the backhoe. I got my tires filled. It is a 4-wheel drive. All of the GC series, all of them are 4-wheel drive. Now, let's get into what I like about this tractor, and then I'll talk about, there's one major problem that I hate about the Massey Ferguson GC1725MB, this one right here, because the problem is on the backhoe, and I'll talk about that in just a little bit. Let's talk about the differences between the MB, EB. Those are your ones with your backhoe configuration. If you get that configuration that you need a backhoe, or you think you're going to need a backhoe in the future, get the B series, you know, with the MB or the EB, because you can't put a backhoe on the other models. And I'm talking about the seat. This seat flips up, so like this, and it turns, and it goes to the back. You can't put this seat on the E or the M. It has to be the EB or the MB, all right? That's very important. I knew I needed a backhoe. I'm gonna be using a backhoe a lot. So if you're not, you may wanna just look at the M and the E. Now the difference between the E and the M. The E is your economy, and your M is your premium. Your premium gives you get the armrest, which doesn't come on the E series, and that may seem like nothing, but when you're working your control arms and you got your arm here, it's really nice to have this armrest. And we do have a 12-volt charger and the cubby hole here. And probably the most important is it gives you that extra oomph in your engine. It gives you 25 horsepower versus 23 horsepower. It's not quite 25 horsepower. They use a number 1725 and then they call it 25 horsepower, but it's like 24.5 horsepower. So they round everything up. So same thing with a 23 horsepower. It's not really 23, it's 22.5 or something like that, 22.4 even. But it's not a significant amount, and your flow rate on your hydraulics are a little different. Just a couple things that every model, whether you get the E or the M, you're gonna have tilt steering wheel. Cruise control comes standard on all the GC series, which is very nice. Something that is not standard that I'd highly recommend, getting the quick attach front, because you can take your attachments on and off very, very fast. I always leave it with the forks on, so I can put my bucket on my forks, and I can kind of move around and put my bucket down and switch out where I want. And kind of in the configuration you're seeing right now is kind of how I work out here. So I'll take my forks off, put my bucket on, or I'll put my bucket or my forks on and leave my bucket. So when I need them, I can just switch out, and it literally takes me probably 15 seconds just to jump off the tractor. This is loose right now. All I'd have to do is just let those pins down, you hit it like that. Now it's attached and it can't come off. So if I was wanting to change it, all I gotta do is pull up, and I walk over that side, and I work a lot faster than I'm talking on video. And you just pull it up, set it into its slot. Let me bring you closer and show you that real quick. It's not locked in the spot, so this is loose, right? So if you want to lock it in, you just hit it like that. All it holds is that little tooth right there, and that's when you want, when it's up in this placement here, it's loose, like this. And then when you want to lift it, all you gotta do is pull it up and lock it right in the spot. I chose to go with the MB because I wanted the most premium model that you can get on a Massey Ferguson. And this is not to say that Kubota isn't a better or as good or a superior product, but I chose this over a Kubota BX23S because the S had the backhoe and everything of that sort. But I felt like I got a better deal on this with putting stats to stats. This was the better deal for me. Not to say it won't, you know, it's going to be for you, but I got a really good deal with this because I got the forks with this. I got the thumb with it, and my tires are already filled. So I got this cheaper than what I could have got the Kubota by several $1,000s, and it was brand new. The Kubota was actually used. We have that 5-year warranty. The Massey Ferguson 5-year powertrain warranty. So on my powertrain, I have a 5-year coverage on anything on the powertrain. So for the loader, we have the 1805. For our backhoe, we have the BH2720. That's got a 6.5 foot dig capacity. And the backhoe does fairly good, but you know, of course you'd always want a stronger, bigger backhoe if you're doing a lot of that digging. You're not gonna go dig out a basement with that backhoe, and you're not gonna dig out, you're not gonna level land with your front loader. But you'll be able to do all those little projects around your property or around your homestead or whatever you have going on. This is a great little tractor if you're not trying to push it to extremes. I think you'll get many years of service out of it. The lift capacity, I'm getting conflicting numbers on that. I know that I've filled this bucket completely full of number 57 gravel, not a problem. But they're saying 925 pounds lift capacity on the front loader. I'm gonna go with that number. That's what I hear mostly. I've also heard 875. Really, those numbers are not what you should be looking for, I guess, in case you're trying to lift something heavy with your loader all the time with these right here. With this, a load of gravel is not even gonna come close to that number. And on other brands, they may only have one tilt cylinder just kind of in here. Kind of gets in your view when you're using your bucket to grade or just kind of see out in front of you. I do like that this has 2 tilt cylinders. To get in under the hood, you press this little button and you just lift it up. Mine's a little dirty, but I want to show you that. So we have a 3-cylinder Azeki diesel engine. It has been reversed, so the air is coming from this side, pulling from the cabin here, so it keeps that hot air off of you, and it keeps that radiator cleaner. So I do like that. Great little engine, but that's under the hood. Here's the control arms. I find that I really like this setup. The only thing that I would change is I wish this, and when I do this, it would probably mess up other configurations, but I would prefer for this to be moved back about 4 inches. Because getting in the tractor on this side, when I come up here like this, when I turn, my rear end will hit this control arm. I mean, I do get on this side quite often because I don't want to have to walk back around the other side of the tractor, but this is one thing that I don't really care for. So if your control arm comes out like this, I would really hate it. I mean, actually, I didn't even look at tractors that had that control arm that came out that way. Filling the fuel is here, so you can grab your gas can, conveniently just put your diesel in. Some tractors have it up here. They have it in different places. I like that it's right here. It's kind of low. You can set your jug right here, turn it over, takes all the pressure off of it. So I do like that. Now let me just give you a little walk around. We have the 2720 backhoe. It's got a 6.5 foot dig capacity. Something I did not know, and the dealer didn't even tell me, is this has a float option. Now, we know that the bucket has a float option, but I did not know the backhoe has a float option. All you do, you'll hear it, hear the stop, okay? We're at the stop. If we go a little bit further, now we're in float. That's a really cool option. I didn't know it was there, and I was glad to find that out because that really helps me with my digs. Something else pretty cool is if you have a belly mower for your tractor in this configuration where you have the MB or the EB, you can use that without having to remove the actual backhoe. The PTO for that, the mid PTO, is actually built into the tractor. They've already got it installed, so all you got to do is buy the attachment and I would buy the drive over, attach it, go about your business. I don't use the mid PTO. I don't have the mowing deck. I have a 0-turn. I got a bad boy 0-turn mower. I don't need that mowing deck. If I was going to get one, I'd get a kind of a bush hog to cut down this field out behind me. But right now, it's just not in the budget, and I don't have it, so I don't want to talk about it. So I don't want to talk about anything that I haven't personally put my hands on and used, you know, put hours on it and used it. So I just want to make sure that I'm trying to give you guys the best overview that I can give you from my experience. And I'm not going to talk about the mid PTO too much because I don't have that mowing deck, so I'm not even going to go into that. Now, let's talk about that one big problem. It's this casing right here. The way that they have that bolted on is absolutely horrendous. So if you come here, you'll see that I have it tied. That's because that connection point on this side and on the other side are broke. And I could take this. I could take this and push it back. So if I take that strap off of there, this whole section will fall back. And that sucks because as it falls back and you push it back up, there are connection points right here. And as you bend that metal, those are going to break as well. So that is absolutely terrible. I hate that. They need to make sure, they should have designed that where you could put your weight to pull up on that, because let me step back and look at this a little bit. How would you get up on that backhoe if you were going to use it? Well, you would come right here. You would grab that. You would lift your weight up, put it up there. Trying to grab that, yeah, that sounds like nice thing, but let me show you what that looks like. So they don't want you stepping on the hydraulics. I understand that for safety. So when you have the hydraulics down, they don't want you stepping on it, right? Because you can slip off and hurt yourself, whatever. So you can grab this, and go up. For me, that feels like a lot more stress just trying to get up on it. So I grab this, and I come up this way and just go up, right? Where this doesn't make any sense to me. Because, and then here again, I'm putting my hand on a hydraulic, which I want to keep that away from that as much as possible. So you're going to put your weight on this, and you know, I'm not like the biggest guy in the world, but I am pretty good size. And when I grab this, and I guess the jerking force of that, when I go to pull my weight up over time, it broke that. And we're talking 40 hours on this tractor. So that's a major negative, is this right here. Just keep that in mind when you're looking around. Everybody's going to tell you these are the best tractor, no matter what dealer you go to or who's owned what. They're not going to tell you the negatives about the tractor because they spent $20,000 on their tractor and they want to feel like they got the best deal and the best tractor they can get for that money. They don't want to tell you the negatives. I want to tell you the negatives. This sucks. When you pay that type of money, this should not break. So would I recommend the Massey Ferguson GC1725MB? Definitely. I would definitely recommend it. But know that every tractor is going to have its problems. But it has a lot more good points about this tractor than it does bad. And I would say if you're in the market for a subcompact tractor, definitely check out the Massey Ferguson 1725MB. Just take it side by side with Kubota and John Deere, because that's your top three. See what you think, pick what you think's best.